Let's go. Let's go. How good. Central Coast Mariners win 2-0 over Western Sydney Wanderers. What a game, what a performance, what a start to the season for the Central Coast Mariners. We are here with a live match reaction. It's my reaction and an analysis of the game. Just got back from Central Coast Stadium. And, dude, oh man, how good, how good. A fantastic game, a fantastic performance from my Central Coast Mariners. And look, we are now sitting fourth on the table literally at this moment because we are halftime in the Melbourne derby, and that result could affect how things look at the ladder. But dude, as I mentioned, a fantastic performance from the Central Coast Mariners once again. And heading into this game, I think we're confident coming off the last week's result against Sydney FC, and we all know the dramas surrounding Western Sydney Wanderers and their struggles at the moment, and the fact that they're not quite putting the performances together and they're not quite getting the results. And look, the first half. Well, actually, first of all, let's talk about the lineups. Of course, we were talking about earlier on a stream on Instagram that I expect the same lineups heading into this game. And of course, we have Benny Kalolo and Nikolai Muller included on the bench, it was great to see those guys get their first home minutes for both guys in this game. Look, it's in that first half, Wanderers actually did a decent job of controlling a good amount of possession, and they did have the high possession stats throughout the game. Defensively, we held our shape really well, and it meant that Wanderers, while they did rack up a good number of shots throughout the game, most of them we kept them to outside the box. So from a Mariners point of view, that was a positive. And it was and then looking at a Mariners point of view from that first half, our opportunities were sort of coming on the counter attack. It was good seeing the likes of Maresh and Arenia making runs in behind. I thought Josh Nisbet was fantastic in that first half. Getting involved and looking to feed those attackers, making those runs in behind. And then second half, of course we have to talk about the heat as well before we touch on the second half. The heat certainly impacted things. Teams were really having to conserve their energy, and I think we saw that. We saw at times players not going for lung busting runs down the wings, being a bit safer. And everyone's using their teammates. A lot of passing going on in this game, especially from a Western Sydney Wanderers point of view. And look, Cy Goddard getting his first goal for the Central Coast Mariners, which is absolutely fantastic. And it was a well-worked goal as well. Lewis Miller once again involved in attack. This is twice in 2 weeks where he's got another assist. So Lewis Miller coming in, that ball that comes in just took a slight deflection. But look, there's a quality finish from Cy Goddard, who had a lot to do. He had to get it past the keeper and keep the shot down. It almost did blast over, but it managed to come off the underside of the crossbar. That gave the Mariners the lead. And then from there, we felt comfortable. West Sydney Wanderers made a triple substitution, bringing on the likes of Petratos, Motokudis, Tate Russell came on. But it didn't really shift too much for them. Petratos had the best chance for the Wanderers, I reckon, in that second half. Forced a great save out of Mark Birigidi. But from a Mariners point of view, I never felt really troubled, to be honest. Defensively, again, that shape was really cohesive. Dan Hall, Kai Rolls, 2 consecutive games, those two guys have started at the back together now and weren't really troubled at all. Hey, this is a game that goes to show now that we're 5 rounds into this season, that this Mariners side is, like last season wasn't a fluke. That's my thing coming out of this game now. I think we're 5 rounds in. Last season's success for the Central Coast Mariners was not a fluke. Nick Montgomery's done such a fantastic job of building off the platform that Stajic had established from last season. And we're playing a pretty similar system, and the players are buying into it. The young guys, again, fantastic. We're getting involved today. Not as many young players. Harry Steele, fantastic. Max Ballard was was showing great effort when he came off the bench to replace Harry Steele as well. So many positive performances as well across the park. There wasn't really anyone who really struggled in this game. I thought Jacob Farrell was fantastic. There was a couple of really impressive defensive interventions. Honestly, I don't know whether the diving head is becoming Jacob Farrell's iconic thing now. He did it like 3 or 4 times. More, I'm pretty sure all of them were in a defensive setting. He would just go in. He was just flying in. The Jacob Farrell diving header. Let's make that a thing. Let's hashtag that or something. I can see everyone in the chat as well. What's going on? Of course, it's a lot of fun. a lot of fun doing these live reactions because then I can get engaged with you guys in the chat. We've got a comment here saying Dan Hall's very underrated. Every time he plays well. Yeah, 100%. It's another example of these young Mariners players who have come in and have, really settled in, and they haven't looked like young players with very little A-League experience. They've come in and settled in brilliantly. Conscript says, most certain that the ref was shocking. The ref was very inconsistent. Some incredibly inconsistent decisions. Harry still picked up a yellow card within the first 10 minutes for a foul that I don't think we would ever look. Not that it wasn't a yellow card, but it was, especially considering it was so early. And yeah, he did pull back the man, but to give a yellow card for that, and then there was a couple other instances where Wanderers players did the same thing, and they weren't picking up yellow cards. So look, there's always inconsistencies now in A-League games, and I'm sort of just learning to live with that now. But look, getting back to the performance, we have to talk about, of course, Oli Bozanic stepping up with a free kick. We're pushing late, It was great to see Muller getting involved. He only had a handful of touches, so didn't quite get the chance to make too much of an impact. Benny and Kalolo, same thing. But it was good to see that he's fully fit, and he was looking lively at times as well in his limited minutes. But Oli Bozanic stepping up for that free kick, and I put it up. I've uploaded the video on the socials because I started filming. I was like, I knew it was going to be one of the last kicks of the game. I was like, I better film it. Oli Bozanic seems to have a free kick every game, and it never quite works out. He could have scored a couple free kicks in the first competitive game of the season against Blacktown City and Mudgee. A couple of really good chances, but fantastic placement and gave no chance for Mejias. And so fantastic because, of course, Oli Bozanic's 100th appearance. Such a wonderful way to cap off this game for the Mariners and for him, the captain. And look, again, with another convincing performance against a big rival in Western Sydney Wanderers, defeating Sydney FC 2-0, defeating Western Sydney Wanderers 2-0. I'm hoping now that Central Coast Stadium is going to become a fortress for us this season, and I think it will. We've got some more comments in here. The Football State in the chat says Farrell is a great prospect. Dude, I was really excited about Jacob Farrell. I spoke about him a lot in this week's podcast, Coastwatch Football Podcast. So, yeah, man, Jacob Farrell, just such an exciting player. And that reminds me, let's talk about my 3-2-1 votes. I like to do this every match reaction, my 3-2-1. Look, for 3, he didn't even get on the score sheet today, or he was involved in the build-ups for the goals, though. Josh Nisbet, once again. Josh Nisbet is so good. Josh Nisbet is just fantastic, and every game this season he's been wonderful. Even in the losses, I thought in the Wellington game he was fantastic. I keep saying it, but he's taken his game up a level this season. And he's already turning into one of the, I don't want to say senior players because he's still so young, but you get that sense that he's almost one of our star players, Josh Nisbet. And, even with the likes of Benny Kalolo, Nikolai Muller coming back, there's no way Nisbet's getting benched. And as well, I don't think there's any way Nisbet's going back into the middle of the park where he was playing, a year ago. He was slotting into midfield alongside, whether it was Stenson or Bozanic from last season. But Nisbet out on that right-hand side, or even if he's playing on the left-hand side, Sai and Niz, they switch around a little bit. So, look, great stuff again. I thought Marco was great. He was getting involved. He gets very much involved in the attacks as well. So, wonderful energy as well around Central Coast Stadium after this win. And now, of course, as I mentioned earlier, takes the Central Coast Mariners to 4th on the ladder, which is a great place to be in a very competitive A-League season. We're seeing the likes of Western United, Melbourne Victory, these sides, even MacArthur FC have made good starts, strong starts to the season. And it's important from a Mariners point of view that we get some results early on and make sure that we're up there. And we have done that. So far after 5 rounds, 3 wins, 2 losses. But again, those losses, if you go back and watch my match reactions, they weren't bad games from Mariners' point of view. We were in them. We played well. Just lacking some quality here and there in the final third. But look, we're finishing off the chances now. And that's such a rewarding thing as a Central Coast Mariners fan. So, dude, I'm so excited. And with the even more exciting thing is that Mariners still have 2 more home games for the rest of the year. And look, there's no reason why we can't defeat Wellington Phoenix on December 27th. That's a Monday night, that game, Monday Ave, I should say. And then on New Year's Eve, we've got MacArthur FC. we can win both of those games. It'll be interesting to see, how those results go tomorrow. Both those teams play tomorrow on Sunday. And, we'll know a little bit more in terms of how that's going to go because, Wellington Phoenix coming off the back of 2 losses. MacArthur FC are looking strong, but I feel like we can defeat them. And we almost got a result against them when we played them down in Penrith a couple of weeks ago. So, how good. Let's jump to the chat now. We've got some good comments coming in. Football State says, honestly, your academy is one of the best in the league. The names usually produces something else, and you're continuing to produce such quality prospects. I 100% agree, Football State. It's well known that the Socceroos that have come through the Mariners, that have come through the Mariners Academy so far, the quality that the Mariners are able to produce, has been shown over the years, and I genuinely believe that we are in 2021, 22, we are seeing, the next crop. I'm not saying the next crop of Socceroos, but you know what I mean. The next crop of top players come through because these guys are showing quality. Jacob Farrell, Dan Hall, the guys that were touched on, even likes of Harry Steele, Max Ballard. These guys have all looked so comfortable at A-League level. Another comment here coming in from Shadow in the live chat. Do you think Muller and Nkololo will be able to get into the starting 11? Nisbet, Goddard, Maresh, Arena have all been playing very good. Look, I wouldn't be disappointed. No, actually, no. I'll phrase that differently. Actually, no. Yeah, actually, no. I'll simply just say no. I don't think we should be changing that front four. I don't think, especially after these last 2 results, no reason to change that front four. Even with someone with the quality of Nikolai Muller, who is a class player. I think we have to stick with it. Having said that, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Maresh drops for Muller. Maybe bring Maresh off the bench. I think Arena has to start. I think he's the first name on the team sheet. One of the first names, I should say, on the team sheet for us at the moment. But look, it's a fantastic problem for Nick Montgomery to have. And he's done a pretty good job so far picking the lineups. The bold decision to sort of start Harry Steele these last few weeks has paid off. He's been fantastic. The bold decision to bring in Jacob Farrell, this player that most A-League fans had never heard of heading into this season, has been fantastic. So it's paying off for Monty. And, even with Ruan coming back, do you take out Dan Hall to bring Ruan back in? I wouldn't. We know how good Ruan Tongik is. He was one of the best centre-backs in the league last year. But I wouldn't take out Dan Hall. So look, I don't think we'll see any changes next week. Oh, it has to be mentioned as well. Almost forgot. Mariners have an FFA Cup game in a few days' time. We should talk about that. I think we'll see a little bit of rotation in that. I think, especially after this what was a very warm Central Coast Stadium in the 30s, and dude, it was very sweaty. I'll say that. I think we'll see some rotation in the Cup. Of course, quarterfinal against Leichhardt, Apia Leichhardt, down there at Leichhardt Oval on Tuesday, which should be a really fascinating game because Leichhardt coming off the back of a big victory, a big win against Western Sydney Wanderers in the last round. So I think we'll see some rotation, whether the likes of, maybe some, Storm Rue, Noah Smith coming into the side, Max Ballard getting a start. Maybe we rest some of the senior players like Ollie or Arena. Having said that, we would love a good cup run actually. So maybe not bench those important players. But I think we might see a little bit of rotation during the week as well. But Central Coast Mariners have won 2-0 here at home to Western Sydney Wanderers. Look, I'll talk about Western Sydney Wanderers a little bit more on Monday in my A-League review. But all I'll say now is I wouldn't be surprised if Carl Robinson loses his job within the next week. It's not good enough for the Wanderers from their point of view, just lacked conviction and quality in the final third, and they have done so in every game so far this season. Even the games where they have gotten a result, even the Wellington game where they won 2-0. They've got such good quality, and you look at the team on paper and it looks dangerous, and it's not showing. Carl Robinson has to go now. It's time for him. But anyway, we're focusing on the Mariners point of view in this game. Thanks so much for catching this live match watch along. It is up here for replay if you want to come back and check it out. And dude, so pumped at the moment as a Mariners fan. And you can of course catch me on Tuesday night for a match reaction to the FFA Cup quarterfinal against Apia Leichhardt. Until then, have a good weekend. Rest of the weekend, guys. Enjoy this Melbourne derby, which is literally on right now as I'm live streaming this. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Central Coast Mariners going all the way, baby. Woo!